Well, hello. Welcome to Take the Bill. I'm Bill, and this is where we take the Constitution to our chests and keep it close to our hearts. Well, I've been watching the news a lot, which I really shouldn't do. Shout out to all my veterans. Um, Watching the news can be dangerous and can bring you down pretty much. I've been following this thing with Jasmin Crokett. Um, this is just a big crock of sugar honey iced tea. Okay, this can't be going on. And that people aren't held responsible for their actions. Okay, it's just like this with Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth hasn't done a thing wrong. Okay, and the Democrats are calling to have him removed and fired and all this other stuff. Well, where's the accountability from the Democrats for what happened on the Afghanistan withdrawal? Hmm? 13 dead. I don't see no dead from this little post from Signal. It's ridiculous. Okay. And I'm sure good. I got my few subscribers, and I'd like to give a shout out to you all. Thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. It's an honor for me. Okay. I'm working hard to get more, and we'll see how it goes from there. So I would like to get into something real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and switch the channel here in a second. Let me see here. Switch. Here we go. I want you to see this. Uh, oh, yeah, things are slow all over the internet today. I was watching the Barry Cunningham show. Things kept on uh going on like this. So wait a second. I'll just make this bigger.
This is another day
I
in
guess I'll talk to you for a
another
minute until this comes
disaster by
on.
the Democrats. The reality is they have
There we
no
go.
vision, no policy. They have nothing to sell but hate, and Americans are not buying it. It's one reason why Texas is going to remain red and why Republicans are going to continue to win elections across the country. The bottom line is that Republican states like Texas are leading the way, and with comments like this by Democrats, we will just leave them in the dust in future elections.
Okay, so the governor is saying exactly what I would expect him to say, which is to not even take the bait, but just stick to what the facts are. And the facts are Republicans are unified, and if she's going to be the person who talks on behalf of the Democratic Party, newsflash, Republicans will welcome it every single time. Now, to make my point even further, here's Scott Jennings saying just that.
I don't know how the Democrats came to appoint Jasmin Crokett as the unquestioned leader of your party, but thank God. And I think what she should do is go on TV twice as much as she is right now, maybe 3 times as much, because every time she appears and makes one of these mistakes, says something radical, it only further divides her party from the rest of the other 80% of America who can't stand this. But the problem is there's an audience for it. I heard Jimmy Kimmel's audience cheering on Tesla vandalism. I hear the Daily Show audience cheering on attacks on Elon Musk. I hear the human rights audience cheering on an attack on a man in a wheelchair. And I realize this is what the left has become, an angry mob of people who are cheering on attacks on a guy in a wheelchair and vandalism against people who bought a Tesla. It's pathetic.
It is downright pathetic, but I don't believe Democrats actually care. Now, on the Republican side, conservatives or anybody that leans right, we don't really mind the behavior. Clearly, it's a turnoff. But as far as politics is concerned and elections are concerned, we will encourage this. Now, this is actually happening, if you really care to know. It's because the party has no leadership, so they can't actually reach out to her and tell her to fall in line. She's not listening to anybody like that. Who really has the control of the Democratic Party right now? Donald Trump, the president. That's who. Anyways, here is Speaker Mike Johnson kind of repeating the same thing that Scott Jennings just said. Take a look.
Axios reported yesterday that Democrats are, quote, in their deepest hole in nearly 50 years. This is not a mystery. Everyone understands what's happening and why. In their haste to oppose President Trump in our efforts to make government more efficient, Democrats are cutting off their noses to spite their own face. Look, I made a list of this. They're cheering the decline of an American company which employs over 100,000 workers. They refuse to celebrate the return of stranded American astronauts because SpaceX facilitated their return. Without a hint of irony, they're trading in their electric vehicles for SUVs, as was noted earlier. All right? They publicly refuse to stand for a childhood cancer survivor, victims of violent crimes during President Trump's joint address. Their message has gone from, it's more than just anti-Trump now, it's anti-American.
Now, how do we know what Speaker Mike Johnson is the truth? Well, it's because progressives have this anti-American attitude. Just look at the policies that they're fighting for, right? They would rather give more attention, energy, and benefits and resources to illegal aliens than actual veterans, people who have served our country. So no, they're not fighting for working families. They're fighting for more government control, socialism, right? They're not building a brighter future. They're tearing our future down, right, in the present moment. Now, here she is getting caught in another lie because we know she tried to walk back her comments. This is from In Wokeness, but the actual source is Free Beacon, where they discovered that, what was this, 4 years ago? She liked the post where someone else called the governor Hot Wheels. And this just proves our point even more. Now, you know the President of the United States is paying attention to everything that's happening, right? She's been getting so much attention. He had to respond. Here's what he said this morning about Jasmin Crokett.
She lies, but she's a lowlife. And she's a very low IQ person and a lowlife. And I don't imagine the Democrats are going to have a person like that running their party. If they do, and they'll never win an election again. It would be very hard. But I can't imagine she's going to last long.
And what do you think of Governor Gavin Newsom's?
You know,
Sorry.
to be smart, you do need a brain. You know, you can't get around with little quips. And I've only heard her for the last couple of days, and I watched her make a speech, and she can't speak. And she truly is a low-level person on the very important chart of intelligence.
Yeah, so he brings up actually a good point, because I believe whoever's telling Democrats to do what they're doing, you can argue is low IQ. I mean, they're starting to curse more. They're trying to look like 16-year-olds on TikTok. They think screaming is the answer, silent on this vandalism against Tesla. Yeah, I think he makes a good point there. And by the way, I don't think it's the Democrats' strength to play Donald Trump's game. There's a reason why he's the president again. He can get away with being hyperbole or calling people out or being rude, even sometimes to his own detriment. It turns people off. But it works for him. It doesn't work for Democrats. And how do you know what we're saying is true? Well, when you have people on the left actually agreeing with this assessment of Jasmin Crokett and the party, I think that tells you everything you need to know.
Here's how I see it. She's new. Mm-hmm. She's young. She's trying to find her way. I think that this party is scrambling, trying to seem tough, and I'm seeing this party traffic in a lot of curse words. That's supposed to be like the new cool thing to do. I don't think that's going to be as useful. I even heard Pete Buttigieg with a whole bunch of curse words. Yeah. I don't know who gave that memo. I don't think that's very useful. I think you have to be very careful when you're talking about people with disabilities. And I don't think she was careful, and I don't know her enough to say she's not being honest. I'm going to tell you, it sounded bad.
So hopefully she gets the message from Van Jones and the rest of the party, rather, but I don't believe they will, and I don't believe she will, because I don't think they care. Because just today, in this hearing in regards to NPR getting defunded, here's what she said.
They don't care about emergency management, and they don't care about free speech, all of which are harming American people. In fact, I'm going to skip off real quick, because they have tried to come for you, Ms. Mayor, and I just want to clarify. You did not work for NPR when those statements were made, did you?
That is correct, ma'am.
And to be clear, free speech is not about whatever it is that y'all want somebody to say. And the idea that you want to shut down everybody that is not Fox News is bullshit. We need to stop playing, because that's what y'all are doing in here. You don't want to hear the opinions and of anybody else, and the Constitution says Congress shall make no law respecting or establishing of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the
gentlewoman's time has expired. The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Now, that actually segues into our next story because NPR and PBS, their CEOs were on Capitol Hill testifying in a hearing. I think the overall conclusion here is whether or not the federal government will defund those programs or those organizations. Obviously, I'm sure you guys support them doing that because we.
Oh, there we go. This with Jasmin Crokett is just, it's so out of hand and so ridiculous. Everyone is reporting on it that I could find. But then I found something else in X, and I just need a minute just to pull it up. So, just stay with me for a minute. I'm kind of like stalling. But this is just really ridiculous. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my bookmarks. Okay, bookmarks. So, okay, that's for another day. So, well, that's Maxine's, that's another thing. Here's Jasmin Crokett having a police escort when a reporter tries to answer her questions, ask her questions, sorry. And look at this. Mr. Badass, okay, acting like he's all cool and shit. You know, this is ridiculous. Really is. But then I found this. Ain't that something, guys? All the talk about Elon Musk, and look at this. We have a black Nazi. Did you ever think of that? Did you ever think the world would come so far that we would have a black Nazi out there doing her thing? No wonder she's so foul-mouthed, saying all the things that she does and making fun of handicapped people and stuff, just like the Nazis did. Next thing you're going to hear coming out of her mouth, they're going to start up ovens and get rid of the Republicans and conservatives and stuff. This is ridiculous. This makes me sick. I spent 30 years in Germany. I know an awful lot about this. And this makes me outright sick. I could just go ahead and scream. So, I tell you, people, this is so ridiculous. I spread it, but you can only spread it so far. If anybody else, this is another thing, cheat ass, cheap. All the Democrats, they're just cheats. All they do is cheat, lie, and everybody knows it. There should be more accountability from our side and stand up and not take this anymore. Come on, Republicans. What happened to the MAGA spirit of we're going to take care of all this? Well, I'm full MAGA. I support Trump and his cabinet 100%. Okay? But to be honest, this is just getting ridiculous. You can't do anything. You turn around. You know, I saw something this morning that kind of made me think to myself, well, hell, how come you just don't see any good news? Yeah, I mean, you do see somewhat good news in the fact that Trump is getting this done and Trump is getting that done. But on the other side, that's like 2 or 3 posts a day, and then the rest of the posts for the rest of the day is all these 235 judges that are trying to go after Trump. The Democrats are trying to go after Trump and his cabinet, making up stuff, flipping out about things when they've done 10 times worse things. And I'm dead serious. Trump, I'm a veteran, is my commander in chief. Biden was never my commander in chief. Obama was never my, and Clinton, he was also not my commander in chief. These little POCs, it's ridiculous. It really is. I was trying to do this that I don't cuss, because I don't want to look like that either, but you just have to cuss in order to get through something like this, and right after I'm finished with this, normally I would go up and keep on watching the news, see what's happening, trying to figure out if I can make another post. But I'm gonna go outside and chill. Um, Need to get away from the news from just like 10 minutes because this is something that is just unbelievable. You get me? Well, okay. I guess that's enough of me. Jasmin Crokett, even Officer Tatum was going off about Jasmin Crokett. Um, yeah, Barry Cunningham was going off about it. Stephen Gardner was going off about it. Everybody in online news, because now we're the news. The news is no longer the news. We are the news. We have to bring all these things out and show people, because you just wouldn't believe it if you didn't see it. And to know the things that um, excuse me, that they've been doing, so here, I'll bring this one up. This is going to be the last thing before I cut out of here and go outside and get some sunlight and make myself a little bit happy.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
There we go.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
They're literally handing us the election for the next several years on a platter. No one with common sense thinks Jasmin Crokett makes any sense.
I should probably be a better politician.
She's so ghetto and silly that it's ridiculous. Jasmin Crokett is the nuttiest person on planet Earth.
100%.
But she's the nuttiest. And one thing that I'm glad about when it comes to Jasmin Crokett is that the Democrats have embraced her and they love her. She's getting a lot of airtime, and it's wonderful for us. Because if the Democrats go in that direction, they're literally handing us the election for the next several years on a platter. No one with common sense thinks Jasmin Crokett makes any sense. She's a ghetto, I want to call her a thug bird, but she don't have committed any crimes yet, but she's so ghetto and silly that it's ridiculous. However, one of the biggest things that happened in the news more recently was that Jasmin Crokett made fun of Greg Abbott. For some of you who don't know, Greg Abbott is in a wheelchair, and she decided to make, I think it was pretty tasteless of a remark against him. And she ain't gonna stand on business and say, yeah, I made fun of him, but she tried to say, no, she was talking about airplanes and stuff. She the dumbest person ever. But the funny thing is when Democrats do stuff, it's often interesting to me how it's covered. If a Republicans were to do the same thing that Jasmin Crokett did, meaning make fun of somebody who has a handicap, how do you think the media would cover it? Well, let's look at it. Jasmin Crokett, rightfully so, at least the left, because all I got to do is click right here to see the left. At least the left is acknowledging it. But they're doing it in a partial way if you pay attention to it. Jasmin Crokett clarifies. Jasmin Crokett might be censored. Jasmin Crokett defends herself. Jasmin Crokett criticized. And then you look at the Republicans' viewpoint, and it's a little more straight to the point. The rising Democrat star saying something negative about Greg Abbott with Hot Wheels. nasty Democrat, is what they said. After getting called Hot Wheels, they talk about Governor Abbott's response, which the left rarely write articles about his response to it. Jasmin Crokett faced backlash for mocking disabled governor. And so as you can see, the side on the right is a little more hyperbolic, and the left is trying to stay more neutral and balanced when they should be outraged like they would if Donald Trump would have said something like this. And on here, you can see how many articles written. This is definitely a very popular subject, and you can see how many on the left, the right, and in the center. And this is why I love Ground News, because it gives you all the information that you need from start to finish to have a balanced perspective and know where you're getting it from. But I don't want you guys to forget the blind spot. Don't be blindsided about not knowing what the blind spot is, okay? Greg Abbott responds to criticisms over his wheelchair use. Nothing to sell but hate is what he said from the Democrats. Obviously, they're not reporting on this. Trump administration goes to Supreme Court to block teachers' preparation grants. This is something that Republicans aren't talking about as much. But let's go to Marjorie Taylor Greene real quick. Marjorie Taylor Greene attacks NPR and PBS as communist, calls for funding to end. Republicans aren't talking about that as much, but the left is all over it, and we know why. Okay? So don't get caught off guard. Know your blind spots, and make sure you're totally informed when it comes to your news. So make sure you guys subscribe to my link at ground.news/Tatum, or download the mobile app and use offer code Tatum for 40% off the unlimited Vantage plan to see through media.
So shout out to Officer Tatum. Also, shout out to Devori.
Bias and stay informed.
Thank you for letting me use your videos.
Of what she said, and then Greg Abbott's response. Roll the clip.
Other news tonight: a Dallas congresswoman is under fire. Jasmin Crokett could be facing a censure vote for a comment she made about Governor Abbott. Take a listen.
Hope so.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
I'm handicapped. I used to sit in a wheelchair. Screw her.
You heard her there referring to the Texas Governor. Crokett was speaking at a dinner by the Human Rights Campaign. Tonight, Republicans like Texas Senator John Cornyn are calling the comments disgraceful. On social media, Crokett said that she was mocking Abbott's policies and not his disabilities.
Now, y'all remember when they flew off the handle when they thought Donald Trump was mocking that reporter? Because he did like this. And then you go and find out the reporter don't even really have a visible disability. He got like some disability you wouldn't even know he had. And they went off the handle. Donald Trump is evil. Donald Trump is mocking people who are handicapped. The handicapped community came out.
Donald Trump facing new criticism for something he did on the campaign trail last night in South Carolina while defending his debunked claim that he saw thousands of Muslims celebrate the collapse of the Twin Towers here in New York. He appeared to mock a reporter with a disability. Take a look.
Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. Oh, I don't remember. He's going, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This is 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
It was the craziest thing you ever seen. And then when she does it against Greg Abbott, who's obviously wheelchair bound, the governor of the great state of Texas, and where are the Democrats coming out against her? Where? None of them are going to say anything about this? All right, let's roll the clip regarding Greg Abbott's response. Roll it.
And Texas Governor Greg Abbott is here with us now. Texas Governor, good to see you. God bless Texas. You had an accident at 26, and you were jogging, and you had a very severe injury, and yes, you are in a wheelchair. And I've gotten to know you. You're a personal friend of mine. I take it personally when friends of mine are attacked viciously for no reason, and there's no way in hell this woman and her ex-post is going to convince me she meant anything other than what we all believe it to be. Your reaction?
Well, Sean, is another day and another disaster by the Democrats. The reality is they have no vision, no policy. They have nothing to sell but hate. And Americans are not buying it. It's one reason why Texas is going to remain red and why Republicans are going to continue to win elections across the country. The fact, Sean, is that Texas is actually in direct contrast to what she was talking about. Texas has ranked #1 for the most new jobs in America over the past month. #1 for the most new jobs over the past year and for several years. Texas ranks #1 for the most new economic development projects for 13 years in a row. CEOs who run businesses have ranked Texas the best state for doing business for 20 years in a row. And Texas is in the vanguard as it concerns the future of the United States, such as space exploration, such as artificial intelligence, such as semiconductors, as well as power generation. The bottom line is that Republican states like Texas are leading the way, and with comments like this by Democrats, we will just leave them in the dust in future elections.
Who disagree? How many of y'all disagree with what Greg Abbott said? We will leave them in the dust. But this is not the only thing that she said that I find problematic. And the only reason I'm making a thing about this is because people need to hear what these Democrats are actually doing and saying. There are some people in the comment section, I know I haven't read it yet, but I was going to say, you guys are giving her free publicity. You're just talking about her giving her free publicity. No, we need to allow people to understand and see the truth. Because if you don't hear someone like me or someone else that's calling her out, you would think that this was all made up and that she was talking about something else. She wasn't talking about Greg Abbott in the wheelchair. And then the next time that they're outraged and they're losing their mind, they're pulling their hair out and they're crying on TV because somebody made fun of somebody, then you're going to go back and remember and say, I remember B. Tatum proved she was making fun of Greg Abbott in the wheelchair. Where's the handicapped community at? Where y'all at? Y'all not going to stand up for Greg Abbott? Oh, because you're a Republican. Oh, that's what I thought. Let's listen to this highlight tape compilation of some of the craziest things that Jasmin Crokett has said. And we got, I don't know, 5 more clips of this. But I just want y'all to put it in perspective how ghetto this girl is. And it's not just because I'm just saying it at the side of my neck because she's a Democrat. No, listen to her. Roll the clip.
No one could have told me that when I went down to Austin that I would be running for Congress.
It is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle, that y'all are the ones being oppressed.
But what I've always decided is that I would step up when there was a need. Listen, he out there, he's hearing all kinds of nonsense and bull. Let me just be real. We might not sit for this. We wouldn't, you know.
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Off. Now, the idea that you want to shut down everybody that is not Fox News is and child, listen, I want y'all to know whether or not call me a child. I want to find out which of those emails, but like, it's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard, right? We've always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey.
Always keep the people first. That's just who I am. And if for some reason this job becomes something different from that and starts to turn my heart, that's when I know that it is time for me to go.
All right, let me give you some context around Jasmin Crokett real quick, because if you listen to her, and this is a phenomenon that happens that black people won't tell you. But being a black man my whole life, I gotta inform y'all about something. A lot of times when you are very smart, very successful, you're raised in an environment that's not black. And I'm not saying all black people are bad. I'm just saying a ghetto, hood, rat environment. A lot of young black people feel like they're not being true to themselves because they need to be like the other black people. Growing up at an all-white school, getting a great education, all of the above, they can't stomach. And I don't know if it's intentional sometimes or it's just the way they feel the pressure of having to be black enough. Once I read you Jasmin Crockett's credentials, you're gonna look in the mirror and say, how did she go from this to a ghetto, slang-talking, deranged person in Congress that do nothing but obstruct? She has no vested interest in helping nothing for the American people, just obstruct. She went to, it's called Mary Institute in St. Louis County Day School, which is a private school with a $25,000 tuition. She went to, I think it's called Rosati Kane School, an all-girls Catholic. I'm probably saying it wrong. I butchered it, but y'all know what it is if you went there. An all-girls Catholic high school in St. Louis with the tuition of $14,000. Her parents are both pastors, and she has I don't know how many degrees. And she have a law firm that don't make no money, but it's still a law firm. So when you put that together, you say, how do you go to a Catholic school, private school your whole life with tuition that is this expensive and grow up in a household where mama and daddy are pastors, which I would be led to believe they're not running around the house cussing all day. And then you end up being a ghetto bird. But if what I showed you wasn't enough, we got a couple more clips. Let's put some more clips on there. Let's go with clip 1, and then we'll go to clip 4. So clip 1, roll it.
Listen, I am definitely of the opinion, that we should have some DEI hires in this administration. You know, the ones that definitely earned it. Because clearly we've got a bunch of incompetent fools that are trying to run our country, and actually they are running our country. They're running it straight into the ground. The fact that you literally are going to plan enemy attacks on a signal chat, and then you don't even know who's in the signal chat, and then y'all want to come at us and act like people of color are the problem or that women are the problem? Like, baby, you probably need a good black woman in the room who can check you and tell you that, first of all, you shouldn't be on signal or anything else.
Well, ain't no man want you in the room.
That's for sure.
They don't want to marry you. I tell you that much. All right,
No.
let's go to clip 4 real quick. Roll it.
Let's talk first about this session, some of your goals. Is there anything you're trying to pass? How much of it is going on offense? How much of it is going on defense, trying to stop the Republicans?
Trying to pass? No. I should probably be a better politician and tell you, yes, we've got all this amazing legislation that I can absolutely imagine Donald Trump signing into law, and I'm just not gonna lie. I think that right now it is about preserving our basics and getting back some of the norms that make sure that people have food on the table, the norms that make sure that people aren't going through any extra layer of stress when it comes to figuring out education for their kids. So right now, I can tell you that unfortunately, I am not working towards very much that I would consider being the progress train. I am working to make sure that I can minimize the regress train right now. And I think, and I hope that my district appreciates that I am being honest with them.
Her district has to be all black people. Can we find out what Jasmin Crockett's district is? I can't imagine white people voting for her. She's so ghetto and weird to me that it's crazy. And it's okay for you to have an accent. You come from Louisiana, you come from Alabama, you come from Georgia, something you can't handle, right? You can't help it. You probably gonna have an accent. And sometimes a southern accent makes you sound, to some people, a little less professional. But ma'am, you putting on the show. You putting on the show talking like that. I guarantee your teachers weren't talking like that in your private school you went to, probably with full of white people. I know the white people weren't talking like that. Jasmin, your parents ain't talking like that. When did you start talking like this? My COO was telling me earlier that there's a video. We tried to find it, but we couldn't, at least not yet. That there was a video of her being very articulate, very calm, and in a completely different demeanor than what she's showing in Congress now. As if when she at her graduation, she was very smart and very put together. I don't know why they convert to this way of having to be ghetto. I don't get it. 40% black. And I bet where the Mexicans at? 40% black, how many Mexicans? There you go right there. That tell you all you need to know. That tell you all you need to know. And I'm not trying to be mean or nothing. I just can place it. I don't know why. I'm not trying to sound racist or nothing. That's final last words. I'm trying not to sound racist. But like, why are minorities producing such ignorant folks? I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. Like, I knew white people wouldn't put somebody like that in office. They just, like, why wouldn't they? But no, it's black and Hispanic putting these crazy people in office that are ghetto and doing nothing for them. What's Maxine Waters' district? I wonder what Maxine Waters' district is. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I want to know what her district is, like the demographic breakup of her district. I bet it's something crazy too. Am I wrong? I bet you it's more Mexican than black. I don't know if there's a lot of 58% Hispanic, and what's the 22% black? Majority minority. They putting up these people. And listen, let me just say this. I want to be very clear about this. I do not believe in any form of fashion that America's success has anything to do with skin color. The American success has everything to do with the American dream. And if you can dream it, you can accomplish it. That's why so many people of different backgrounds can come to America and become great and do great things and accomplish things, whether it's a visa, whether you migrated here, whether you came here, some other means. Black people being here. We're more wealthy. The wealthiest place for black people to live is in America. So no matter how you got here, if you acknowledge and embody the American dream, you are going to be a great American and you're going to do great things. The problem is unassimilated folks. And unfortunately, there's a vested interest that's propagated to young minorities that they should not assimilate to the American dream. Either they cannot or they will not. That's what's being preached. So then you have a subdivision of America where people are silly and they're anti-American and they don't believe in any American values. They want to start the system over. They believe it's a mysterious boogie white man out here trying to make sure you can't succeed. That's what's being taught. That's what's being expressed. That's why Jasmin Crokett is there. That's why Maxine Waters is there. That's why some of the dumbest people that you see in politics that happen to be minorities are propped up by ignorant folk who hate America. Back in the day, I, as a black man with this mentality, used to be the norm. Black people started out Republicans. Black people were pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Black people made waves in America. I'll just give you this stat and I'll move on to the next topic. Some of y'all think Jackie Robinson is the first black man to play in Major League Baseball. Some of y'all think Jackie Robinson was. Wrong. He wasn't. A black man played in the Major League Baseball along with his brother, I don't know, 60 years before Jackie Robinson did. And then a man played before that man did. That dude's name was Moses Walker. Then there was a man that passed as white that was in Major League Baseball before him, but he was white passing, meaning he was mixed. Some of y'all don't understand what black excellence was. And the sad thing is, black people don't even know black excellence. Black people did so much better, had so much more value, making so many different waves in this country, building and growing and believing in themselves, believing in the American dream, telling the government to get out the way, let us do our thing. And now a lot of us are completely victimized. And the victimizer is the person in the mirror.
So, go ahead and switch back over. Yeah, you see, guys, you see what's going on, huh? You see what's happening? This is just absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Really don't know what to say sometimes. I just wanted to go ahead and bring that. Just while we're at it, please like, share, and subscribe. I could really use all the subscribers that I can get. I'm working on doing a live show soon. I am going to be reading from script, but it'll be my first live show. It's about a question that I have. You know, we have all this other stuff going on, and one thing leads to the other, and everyone forgets this, and everyone forgets that. Okay, I mean, one of the biggest things that I'd like to see come out is all this with the UFOs and drones and stuff, UAPs. But right now, I'm kind of like wondering where the 500,000 children have just disappeared. You know, it breaks my heart to hear something like that. Okay, they didn't deserve all that, but that's what they're getting, and I don't approve of it. But, you know, just to keep this thing short, I'm already here for like almost 40 minutes. Please like, share, and subscribe again. And we will be seeing each other very, very soon. Tomorrow I'll come out, make another video. I'm going to be making videos every day anyways, because I ain't going to get very far if I don't. I hope you like the video. I hope you keep it in mind and get rid of some of these people. You know, I hope the Congress does their job and censors this woman. And then, me personally, I think a lot of these people should be impeached, you know, especially for the fact that, and everyone knows it. You know, of course, there's Republicans that did the same thing on the other side of the aisle. Hey, just going off on me here. Yeah. I guess that's my cue to stop. So, people, thank you for coming by. Sorry, a little stuttering in the tongue. Thanks for stopping by. Um, like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be doing more videos, and I can only get better with the more and more that I go along. Uh, all praise, glory, and honor to God. Please watch out for yourself. Say a prayer tonight that Congress gets off their butt and starts punishing some of these people the way that they're supposed to be punished, and leave people like Pete Hegseth alone that didn't do anything. Yeah, here, brothers. We're all brothers in arms, no matter what, including Pete Hegseth. We have to take care of our own. So God bless you. Have a good evening, and see you tomorrow.